What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to this week's Makeup Monday. I am going to do something a little different. At the end of this video, I'm going to insert me doing this side of my face where I do eyeliner. I have a tutorial basically of how I do my eyeliner and put lashes on. Don't know if you can tell, but I've got fake lashes on, and I like them to be very natural, and so this is my fake lash routine. And if you want to see that, just pop on over to the end of the video. But first, before we do that, I wanted to talk about what it's like being Chinese American. And we are apparently, I looked it up, 1.5% of the US population, and that is about 3.8 million. For me, I was actually born in China and I have been raised in America. And I just kind of want to talk about like what it's like being Chinese American, because I know that it could be interesting for you guys, and it's interesting for me. I've got stories, but let's just go into it. I've got about 4 or 5 points that I want to hit. The first one being, I'm probably not the same Asian you saw a few minutes ago. And by that, I mean that a lot of people come to me and they're like, is your name Sarah? Have you been, you look a lot like my granddaughter. And I'm like, pretty sure I'm not your granddaughter, because I've never met you before. And also, my name is not Sarah, and I've been asked if I'm specifically Sarah many times. I do not know who Sarah is. Sarah, if you are watching this, please introduce yourself. If you are Chinese, Asian of some kind, and you look like me, I would like to know if you actually look like me, because I can almost guarantee that we probably don't look that much alike. And the only thing is that we are both Asian. And so being a major minority in my area where I'm living, a lot of people are like, oh, she's Asian. Like, she isn't that the same Asian that I saw like down the road like a few days ago. Like, no, probably not. Like, we are different people, and I don't look like the random, like, I don't see white people and think like, oh, that's the same Joe that I saw like 2 days ago. Like, aren't you the same guy? Like, you got a beard and stuff, right? So that's probably one of the funny and biggest pet peeves that I might have. Secondly, I'm not any smarter or dumber than you, because I'm Asian, because I'm Chinese. I am determined, and I think that can show for a lot of being smart. I am determined to learn something, and when I'm determined to learn something, ain't nobody gonna stop me. And that might come across as me being smarter just because my stereotype is that I am smart because I'm Asian, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. I just think that because, and it has nothing to do with being Asian, it just has to do with being determined. And if you're determined too, then you can get just as far in life. Many Asians have a lot of funny stereotypes, and one of them being we drive crazy. And I've been in the car before and people are like, wow, you drive really safe. And it's like, did you just tell me that because I'm Asian you think that I'm gonna be a bad driver? And I've also been told that I'm a little, I don't know, I've kind of been told that I drive crazy, and it's just like, wow, I guess I'm living up to my expectation, I don't know. And so it's really funny. I don't like Chinese food. I think a stereotype for being Chinese is that I'm going to automatically like Chinese food, and that's not the case. My favorite ethnic food is Mexican food, and this is American Mexican food, because I know that when it comes to food in America, it's not super authentic, and so even the Mexican food, I believe, is Americanized, and so is Chinese food. And so I have been to China, and their food is not like the Chinese buffet that you would go to here in America. And so when I say that I don't like Chinese food, I basically mean I don't like American Chinese food, because when I was in China, I did enjoy the food for the most part. There was this thing that I had that's called a century egg, and it was green, and they buried it underground for not a whole century, but they bury it for a period of time to where it ferments underground, and they dig it back up and they eat it, and that's very much a delicacy over there. And it tastes very much like it sounds. It's awful, in my opinion. It's a delicacy though, and yeah, it tastes like sulfur. Like it smells bad and it tastes bad in my opinion, but it's just a funny like example of like what real Chinese food is versus what American Chinese food is, because that's not something we would see in a Chinese buffet. So that's just another point. Another point is I love talking about my culture and any other culture too. I think that it's fun to joke around. So if you've met me and you've been around me for very long, you know that I can be racist, and I really want to break down the racism, and not just, I don't want to break down racism, I want to break down the thing that people have that they're afraid to talk about different races. I think that race is beautiful, and I think that our differences are beautiful. And so if I'm Chinese and you're afraid to say, well, if you have something about me going through your head and it is because I'm Asian, like, feel free to say it, because I think it's more than likely I'm going to laugh my head off and think it's hilarious, and I'm a big jokester when it comes to my race and my culture. And so a lot of times I will like, I was raised in America, so I have a very good English accent, American accent. I speak very fluent English. I don't speak hardly any Chinese, and so when I want to tease about my own culture, I'd be like, you'll have to wait 2 minutes, because your prescription will take 2 minutes to get ready. Thank you. And like, I don't say that, I don't do that when I'm at work. I might do it when they walk away or something, because I think it's hilarious. Like, I might do it when we're talking and we're just goofing off, and it comes up, and I'm just like, you wait 10 minutes, and you know, like, just being goofy and just being funny and pulling out my my accent and trying to be all like the crazy Asian lady, like, I don't know. So anyway, if you are ever afraid to, don't be, because I love teasing about my own culture and about others too. So, you know, I think that that's a very healthy thing, and for everyone to get offended about things nowadays about race, like, why? It used to be fun. It used to be fun to joke about each other, and it wasn't something to be offended about. And so I'm not offended, and I hope that you're not offended, and if you are, sorry. Hashtag sorry not sorry. And anyway, so let's move on. I am proud of my Chinese heritage. I am proud to be Chinese. I think that as a Chinese person, when I learned more about my culture, and when I was actually in China, they're very proud of who they are. And I think that that's something that we could all learn from, and I'm very proud of who I am. I'm proud to have been born in China and then to have been adopted and raised in America. I'm proud of the way that my life has come about, and I think that just because you're Caucasian, or just because you're African American, or just because you're Chinese American, I think you should be proud of who you are and where you came from, and don't let that be something that oppresses you. And if it is, address it and move on, but then be proud and be like, yeah, I am who I am, and I like who I am. And yeah, I'm very much a minority. And another point is really funny. I for a while was like, people are like, do you only date Asian guys? And I'm like, no, because there's no Asian guys around to date. But and so I also said that, no, I'm only attracted to white guys. And then I started thinking, I was like, wait, mainly attracted to them simply because that's the majority of the kind of guys that I'm around. And so to say that I'm only attracted to white guys is actually racist myself, because I haven't even been around a lot of the Chinese or Asian guys that to find attractive, because I find some of them attractive, but they all don't look alike, just as my first point was. And I think that yeah, the reason why I'm attracted to white guys is because that is who I am mostly around and familiar with. And so, funny point there. And then also, lastly, I have like a little funny little story. I was at work the other day, and this guy rolls up to the drive-through window and he says, "Are you Chinese or Korean?" Well, he didn't say it like that. He said, "Are you Chinese or Korean?" And I said, I'm Chinese. And you know, a lot of times when people start off with that as a conversation starter, it's funny because if I wasn't Chinese, they might not be talking to me about things. And so like this guy started telling me stories about his neighbor who's also Asian, and then he, you know, by the end of the conversation he gave me a $2 bill and, you know, wished me luck. And just, it was nice because I could have taken offense to that. Could have been like, well, what does it matter that I'm Chinese? All that matters is that I'm an American citizen and that I'm just as normal as you. Like, why are you pointing out my race? And I just like took time with him and just like listened to what he had to say. And he talked a lot, and I just got to like hear him, and it was a conversation. I was a conversation starter. And when you take time to get to know someone and what they are about, you know, you get a $2 bill out of it, like things like that. Like, it's really funny, and you get to know people better, and you just, so it was kind of fun. And that ties into my video of Big Talk. And if you haven't seen it, I will link it down below. You can go watch it. And it's just kind of fun because when you take time for someone and don't let things offend you, you really get to learn about people, and you get to see, you know, a different side of them that you might not if you had just automatically become offended about it. And so I think that was a lesson learned for sure. I'm, like I said, I'm not an offensive kind of person. Yeah, you can say anything, just about anything about my race, and I'm going to probably laugh and joke along with you rather than get offended. And so yeah, there's other things that I could talk about, I'm sure, but those are the big things I wanted to hit, and I hope that you enjoy this video. Like I said, I am going to switch into tutorial mode, and thank you to Tiffany and Jessica for requesting that part of the video, and I hope that you enjoy it. Go watch that now. And for the rest of you, I just wanted to give my thanks for listening to me jabber and watching my videos, and I know that I have some big fans out there. A couple of you have really told me that you enjoy my videos, and I appreciate hearing that. And it would be cool if you could share this video, and if you think that there's another topic that you would like me to cover, then hit me up and maybe we can collab together, and maybe I can bounce around some ideas and do a video on that topic. So let me know, holler at me. I've got actually some ideas of my own and some people in mind to collab with, so it could be really fun. And let's just jump into this. By the way, if you are wondering what is happening with my eyes, I had a video request to do eyeliner and mascara and lashes. And so in attempt to do that, I picked up a couple lashes. I'm not much of a lash girl. I struggle to even deal with them because they're just fussy to me, and so I have avoided them. But because of your request, I had gone to the store, picked up a few lashes, and you even mentioned magnetic lashes. And guess what? They don't work. They don't work out, because I tried them a bit before this video, just so that way I wasn't too like novice before going into it, and I'm glad I did, because these are e.l.f. Professional Magnetic Lashes, and I tried. It says they're easy to apply, no adhesive needed, pre-curved band. Well, that's really funny because, yeah, it's pre-curved like in this thing because there's little sticky dots here, and so it's like bent. Yeah, right there and right there you can see that it's like it's taped on basically, and so I was like, yeah, sure. And then when you look at this, if you just hold it, it's kind of like, it's a little bent, kind of, if you can see that. But then I will show you, I will try to demonstrate, and I will try to put them on. And so basically what these are, there's 4 little magnets on top and 4 little magnets on the bottom, and you stack them. And so you've got like this funny little, and then you've got like, then they snap on like that, and there's supposed to be one thick band, and there's, you know, magnetized together. And so you can reuse them, you don't need glue, and you can just pull them back apart and use them again. Great idea. Great idea. So let me just show you what happens when I try to put these on. And I have my mirror over here, so pardon me while I mess around because I can't see in this video. Okay, this is what happens. This is what happens when you try magnetic lashes. They do not bend, and believe me, I have played with these and tried to get them to bend to my lid, and like, listen, like, that's what I get. It's just, it's not perfected yet. They don't have it, they don't got it down. It's a great idea, but it's too long of a band, and if you buy the demi ones, like the half band ones, they just look funny because it's not like your full lash, and it just like, it looks really like weird when you have non-existent natural lashes like mine. And so my verdict for these magnetic lashes is a big no. Like, don't even waste your money. This was $13, a little over $13, and I regret buying them. So I don't know what to do. You will not see me wearing these in public. But I thought I would show you just so that way we get a better idea of what happened. So what I did instead was I found these lashes, and these are called e.l.f. It's brand new technology, and it is the Naturals number 031, and I already put one on, and I have it over here on this side. If you can see, I'll try to show you that it does give me a little bit of longer, thicker lashes, but not ridiculously like. I like the natural lash. I feel like that my Asian eyes don't hardly have any lash at all, but when I do want a little thicker definition, I go for the natural ones. And so I've got this simple little band here. It's really small. It's really it's really nice. Like, I really like it. It's pretty. And so it came with this glue here, this strip lash adhesive, and you just paint it on to the band here. Ooh. And you want to let it dry a little bit so that way it's tacky. And I'm going to use my little lash applier, whatever, pliers, and I'm going to put this on. Now, like I said, I've got a white strip there, and I'm just letting it dry a little bit before I immediately go in. And it's tricky because you want to get it as close to your natural lash line as possible, and I am not putting on mascara or any liner before the lashes. The lashes go on first when I'm doing lashes. And let me put these on before it actually dries up. Okay, so after I get it lined up, I basically just pinch my real lashes and this lash, and I push down right on the band there, right close to my eyelash line, so that way it applies it, while getting it as close to the lash line as possible. And trying to pull down on it a little bit to try to make sure it's sticking as close to the lash line as possible. So, there's that. Next thing is bottom lash. I like to put a softer black line on there, and I mean in the mirror it may not, or in this camera it may not look a lot softer because I did do a thicker line than I typically do. But what I do here is I just line the waterline. I just line where it where it's a little watery there, and I make it as thin, really thin on the inner part. I don't make it real thick, I make it real thin. There we go. And then I take my liquid eyeliner. This is my e.l.f. Jet Black liquid eyeliner, and I cover up the lash band, and I just make a thin strip on top of the lash band. There we go. And then for the wing, I like my wings to be pretty small. I just like it to be an extension of my eyelashes, but not like something too, like, this is about as far out as I would go, and it's about as far out as my eyeshadow goes, and then I stop, because if it goes way out here it starts to just like draw my eyes up and I think it looks kind of funny. So I like to have it just to extend the length of my eyes and kind of give me that shape, but not like make it look like I've got this like random line that's way far out. I'm very particular about how long my line is, so I start, and it's very difficult. Let me get another mirror. I'm going to just get a compact here and use this mirror. So I start on the outer part here, and I just bring it in, bring it up, and then I turn it around and meet it back. So that gives me like a template basically. And then dip back in, and I'm very particular about how much product is on the tip here on the applicator, and then I bring it down to meet my bottom lash line, like so. And for the bottom lash line, I do not bring it all the way across the bottom lash line because it is really bold, and like I said, I try to make it just a little softer. And to combine the liquid eyeliner and the pencil eyeliner, I take my pencil eyeliner and I run it over top of the black liquid in order to kind of mesh it together. Yeah, like that. And then I'm going to take it on the upper water line. Take my, yeah. So that way, it covers that up. And I actually didn't really do it on this side, so. There we go. You see that? And I try, yeah, I like that. I think that they match pretty well. I just make sure that it's angled up just a little bit, but not too crazy. And then what I do is I take my Lash Essence Lash Princess, and I'm going to basically mold or combine my real lashes with the fake lashes by putting mascara on as the last step. There we go. And as you can see, that is liner and lashes, and it's thicker, and it's got the wing, and that is my routine. And it might seem over the top and many steps, but that's my routine. Especially if I put lashes on. If I don't, it's just a little quicker. If I don't have lashes, then I'm gonna put this on the bottom, this on the top real quick without a wing usually. Typical day to day, I don't do wings. And then I'll just throw on my mascara and go. So this was kind of different. It's fun. Alright guys, well that's the end of the video. I appreciate you for watching all the way through. I hope that you enjoyed my tutorial, and I also hope that you enjoyed my topic of what it's like being Chinese American, because it is quite interesting, and I hope that you come again, and I hope that you can like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it shareable, and if you would like for me to talk about something, just let me know, and I'll see you next week. Bye!